This is the difference between Muslim and Christian. Right, so this is a comment that is interesting because I would like to know what is the difference between Muslim and Christian. Muhammad's system is based on the denial and opposition of the reality of the Christian system! Exclamation mark. I'm not sure what is the context of this statement, right? Because the system of Islam do not rely upon anything in Christianity, right? It's on its own. Of course, the claim is it is a revelation from God, right? And Christian system is based on the refusal and rejection of the teaching of the Quran. Why? So if the point here is to say that the teaching is different, yes, of course, but both religion should not be reliant on one another, right? Because it should be standing on its own. So I'm not sure the phrasing, maybe I'm not sure, but based on Jesus Christ's teaching, he said, "Be aware of false prophets and false teachings, who will come after me. You will recognize them by their fruits, deeds." Right? So this meaning that the highlight here is the fruit or the deeds, right? So hence, if I fast forward to my reply here, are you talking about deeds like staying away from alcohol, pork, adultery, etc., or religiously pray 5 times a day, fasting for full months in Ramadan, etc., or putting emphasis on marriage and responsibilities, or prohibition of interest in loans, etc.? Right. So I'm just listing down the deeds that is commonly practiced by Muslim, right? So we avoid things like alcohol, pork, adultery. We have sets of ibadah that we do religiously, pray 5 times a day, fasting in Ramadan, going to Hajj, for example. And also we have emphasized on things like marriage, responsibility. You do not go out and date, etc. Marriage is the responsibility, or we stay away from interest and loans, for example, right? So are deeds like this the one that you are referring to, that you say, you know, something negative to? These are not laws but rules. So I'm not sure suddenly what this means. These are not laws but rules, because I'm not saying anything about laws or rules, unless if this is the thing, right? Or he assumed these are all law or rules and not deeds, right? So maybe do Christian separate between, oh, these are deeds, these are law and rules. If you follow the rules and law and that's become your habit, it's not yet deeds. So I'm not sure whether there's linguistic or language barrier here, because when I say this is the habit and the practice of Muslim, that's normally what I would call deeds, right? These are the good deeds or the daily deeds that they do. So I'm not sure what is the context of this one. So that's why I ask. I'm not following. Your initial comment is about the fruit deeds, so I'm just simply listing the deeds. And then he actually goes to something. He's not responding to whatever I stated. He just go into, I'm assuming this is the deed that he feel that indicates this is false prophet, I guess. I'm assuming. So you should not murder. God made it clear. And then suddenly, how many people Muhammad removed life? He murdered, right? To which I replied, okay, so the context of my earlier comment is right then. This basically question mark, right? Perhaps I just didn't word the context. So my earlier comment, are you talking about all of this that I stated? So those are the deeds that we do. Anyway, these are some of the deeds that we follow from the teaching of the Prophet. On your question, can you define murder? Because the phrase is you should not murder, and then the question asking how many have Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam murder, right? So first, if that's your question, honest question, can you define what murder is? Does it include being involved in a war or battle as the leader of the nation or the state, right? Because Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he do not just simply, as the head of state, he do not just simply ask the soldier to go, he lead the soldier, right? So he is involved in battles and war as the leader of the nation, of the state. So anyone killed in that battle, in the battlefield, is that considered murder to you? Is that what you are counting? Or does it include the judge as head judge of the state? So given that Muhammad SAW also is the judge of the state, and anyone who is being sentenced to death, for example, is that included in murder? Right? So in your word, is all the judge that have ever sentenced anyone to death murderers? Or murder is the commonly used term when someone kills someone else unjustly without just cause, meaning that they are not soldier in battlefield, they are not judge that sentence people to death, etc. That is what we commonly call murder, right? And they commit murder, right? So I'm not sure, because okay, which comes, I think there's a comment that still come after this, and then I reply here. I'm not sure whether this I reply when I notice on this or something, but he haven't replied back yet on my question here, because he suddenly goes to murder. I ask what is the definition. Of course, it just one day ago, so perhaps he haven't read it yet, or still finding for an answer. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's the topic for today. Because first he mentioned about deeds, so I said this is the deeds of Muslim, right? That the commonly practicing Muslim, this is what they do, and this is based on the teaching of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, among others, right? So is this the deeds that you see as problematic? We are so serious about fulfilling these deeds, doing these deeds on our daily life. Is this a indication of false prophet, do you think? And if you want to say that you should not commit murder here, right? And if someone suddenly just go on a murder spree or something, then that indicate false prophet. So, and then you want to ask how many have Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam murder, please define it first, right? So that we know what murder is, what not murder is, right? So that's the thing, and we haven't got that confirmation yet, what is the definition there. So with that, feel free to comment what is your thought on this topic. Thank you for watching. See you next time.